Alright, we're gonna get this system 0. Here's what we have left the last path with. It's gonna spawn data 0, and we're gonna redo it. Now we don't need this for now. What we'll do is this custom event. Gate data is a replica of the previous blueprint. It's just another one, so we don't need to focus it for now. And we don't need DMI for now. We're gonna redo it. That means that we have something like that. Data 0 is the blueprint with our artwork. We're gonna get system 0 to spawn that based on the data table. This is our data table, and these are predefined artworks. This is their name: 5th Hertz, Dressed in the Soul, Network, Forbidden Fruit, Galactic Dick, Galactic Alright, this is not colored for now. And we will upgrade sets of variables. Now, this array is slightly confusing because there's so many things I want to use it for, yet data tables will be a bit different. So let me continue with this piece. It's going to be system 0. Now system 0 and data 0. Damn it. Let's get this material and extract these variables. We're going to get the plane. Create dynamic material instance. Create dynamic material instance, source material, get material. Promote variable, instance editable, expose on spawn, and it's going to be DMI. Set DMI. We're going to continue. And further get the function. Now we're gonna get the DMI and extract the value from that material that we want. We're gonna get DMI as set texture parameter value, set vector, and we can get set scalar. Why that is depends on what values we have. It's limitless chances. We have texture parameter value, we have base parameter value, we have emissive parameter value. Now emissive I probably want to run through the power node and then hook it up for the emissive. And emissive is gonna be (11). Emissive, something like that. Probably get the power to 1 and see if it's gonna change. Alright, good. It does. So power to 3, emissive to 11, something like that. Emissive is going to be multiplied. Power 2. Alright. Let me continue. Any fucking way. You didn't knock. I told you, motherfucker. Keep it like so. Apply. So we have base and we have emissive and we have texture. We get the data 0. We're gonna get the data 0 and our data 0 is gonna set texture parameter value. Call this one texture. DMI set vector parameter value. Base. Set vector parameter value. No. Not that way. Emissive. Okay. We have our 3 values over here. Now we're gonna convert it to the variable. I already have it from the before, so I'm gonna avoid the clutter. Set it up as instance editable, expose and spawn, and its value is going to be texture. Now there's going to be another one, emissive is going to be hooked up here, instance editable, expose and spawn, base hooked up here, instance editable, exposed on spawn. Let me continue with data 0 is gonna have these 3. Now these 3 are gonna try to convert to the function, but I avoid having this yet. So I'm gonna delete the one I have and convert this into the function. Call this function image. System 0. So this is data 1. In viewport is going to look something like that. Artwork. Artwork is going to get the construction script to run the image, and over here we have base color and emissive color. Just keep it like that for now. We're gonna draw this function with the texture first. At that point of the code where the system 0 spawns data 0 for each of the row names in the data table, we're going to call that image function. Data 0. I don't need the output, I just need the input. And as well as that, I'm gonna draw the value into the out of this function. So you're gonna get this texture. Texture. Call this texture. Event graph. Now this event graph is gonna get system 0, extract texture, and connect the texture node that we get out from the to the image of the data table. Image is gonna be then moved towards set members, and we're gonna proceed as following. As well as that, I'm gonna set the ID. I'm gonna get the ID, and the ID is the name of the artwork that I set it here, and I'm gonna move that ID and promote it to the variable, connected to the variable called ID, that is a name variable from data table. So I made a new variable in here called ID, that is a name, instance-editable, expose and spawn. System 0 is gonna get this ID, so we're gonna get ID, get set ID, and the ID is gonna be moved to this piece, the label of that row. Okay, next we're gonna proceed as following. So over here, what we're gonna see, if we hit play, error, data 0, failed to compile, data 0, compile DMI no longer available at the image. Okay, I don't need that. I need this DMI, get DMI, set texture, image. I'm not sure I do need that, but probably I just kept it as a regular, and add some color. Compile. It's irrelevant, but if we hit play, let's see what we're gonna see. There's something, but I cannot observe it. Alright, here it is, our artwork. As you see, the pattern is different. Over here, if I set up the game mode in a way where I have a pawn, what I want to do further is to set up the 3D slider, spline based slider with one of these lights, with a small ball of light, that will enable altering each of these artworks. Now the mistake here is that it calls for the original piece, and therefore it breaks it basically breaks the, what was it? Breaks the code and sets up the image as we have defined over here. For us to alter it, I have to not call for the function, rather access it. But this allows procedure workflow that I can externally define this table. Now this is not procedural, this is runtime, and the problem with it that I have to save it, and that is I'm not aware how to do it. So as you see, but the point is, if we come with a player to every one of these, we can alter it and then set up some enhancements towards the look of it, and having the pieces spawned in a predefined range, defined in data table, that can be imported from external source as a Excel table into Unreal Engine. and be spawned procedurally, all of them in one place, right? Enhance with look, but as well as that, it will enable the changing of these different values runtime. I have set it up further. The point I'm trying to make, I'm going to show you exactly, but I just can't be bothered with the setting up the exactly the way it was, since it's lost and unfortunately undiscoverable. I call it an R space, and that is exactly what we're doing, and I believe that is foundation for the oh yeah. Here it is. That's a joke. I'm gonna set up on a higher value. Basically, this is just an orbit pawn. An orbit pawn is simply moving around. If I click on any other artwork, it's going to move to and focus on it, and it's just altered material of the texture of my image. That's it, as simple as that. Fluid artworks. Anyway, continue, you get the point. We're gonna proceed to the another feature. Now, for us to display information on it, we're gonna get back to this in a bit. Open back. We're gonna open back our piece. I can easily set up the way for it to be altered without changing the texture, but really there's no much need. All I want is just a simple working variant. Let me explore this piece. Now the image is setting it from here. Alright, good. The image function. Now the event graph. I can move this to the same place. This way I will not be able to track it runtime, but either way, if I do it runtime, I cannot save it, so it's fine both ways, right? I just can use black and white, but it's not important at this stage. The point was just to show that how extraction of the variables, of any variables from that material is going to happen. So if the ideal variant for me would be to run some like heavy OC, like having like 20 variables to allow the artist to alter the image and take a screenshot of that image or pattern. That is the best use for the artworks. For the artworks, since it's a unique pattern, it is not replicable. And we can get the emissive to, let's say, 3, 3, 3, and observe. Zero, zero, zero. Okay, probably that is not important. I get to the base, and the base is gonna be fine. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 11, 11. All right. So I'm not gonna draw these values into the data table and let it be for now. So if I hit play, this is gonna be our images as patterns. There's something else I want to do. I want to be able to alter the size and proportion of this plane procedurally in data table. So we're going to get back to data table and data 0. In data 0 construction script, we're going to get the plane. Plane is going to be scale, set world scale, set world scale 3D. We're going to break it, split structure spleen, split structure, whatever. We're going to promote this scale x equals, let's see, 1 1 0, if that is it. Construction script back here, 1 1 0 1 1 1 plane. It does not change it because there must be something that does. There must be something that does, and what does is the scale. Set world scale 3D, set scale, set world scale, set relative scale 3D, set world scale 3D, set relative scale 3D, construction script, continue, 1 1 1 scale 1. If this is it, we're gonna get 1 1 1. So no scale does not seem to. Alright, good. Add simply 3, some 3 bark. Now set relative scale. Now I'm gonna break it. Split structure pin, split structure pin is gonna be 2, and we have y promote to the variable, call it vertical. Next, we're gonna call this one horizontal. And since most of our artworks are instance editable, expose and spawn, is going to be 1 and 1. We have slider range 0.5, 1 and 0. Alright, so it's going to represent 50 centimeters or inches, whatever. The ranges can be set up, but I just avoid it for now, the limiting piece. We have 2 values, set relative scale, vertical, and it's going to allow extraction of these 2 variables. If we refresh this blueprint, set up spawn, editable, get back system 0, refresh, we have vertical and horizontal. We get back to our data table. We're gonna get data table, and then we're gonna get the system S. Now system S, we're gonna have 2 more. We can have canvas, horizontal, canvas H, float, name it canvas horizontal, then another float, call it canvas vertical. We're going to save it and continue. The values are null, so we're going to get the system 0, horizontal over here, vertical over here. And then in data table, when we spawn canvas horizontal, I'm going to approximately remember that this was horizontal 30 centimeters and vertical it was 40. Then this was horizontal 20 on 40. This was 25 20 on 20. This one was 20 on 40, and so on. Now I'm gonna see if it's 20 on 40, 20 on 30. I'm gonna save it and let's see whether some changes were made. Alright, we can get the system to be not 20, we're going to have it 0.3, 0.4, 0.2, 0.4, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.3, 0.2, 0.4. Something like that. We set up same for the other canvases, and we still have to rotate the texture. That makes it another problem that we have to face. Now this was 0.5 and 0.5. This one was 0.2 and 0.3, 0.3 and 0.2. Now this one was 2.2. Now this one was 0.7, 0.5, 0.7. This one was 0.5, 0.7 means 70 centimeters. Now this one was 0.5, 0.6, 0.5, 0.6, 0.3, 0.2. And this one was 0.7, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.4, something like that. 0.2, 0.2. Save. Now we only have to get rid of this light because it's just -144. Compile, play. One more time. Data 0, -55, -77. This is how art works. we're gonna proceed. That is galactic dick. We're gonna get the data and probably turn around the plane. (180 degrees), 180, 90, 90, 90, 90. Okay, hit play, resume. Something. I wonder if it's this. Alright, it's this way. We're gonna continue with further state. Let me see. Alright, good. Now I'm just gonna put this light behind because there's something is transparent and I wanna set it so minus 55, 35, 34, 55. Something like that. Alright, a quick tweak for this light. Just have it 55, 22, 21, 55. Something like that. Next. What's gonna happen next is another curious matter. Now you see this data 0. This data 0 is then gonna spawn something else. We're gonna get the data 0. We're gonna run exactly the same code that we have ran to spawn the same data 0 from system 0. We're gonna get data, and there's the only difference between that and that is gonna be the check. The branch check. And here there's no check, there's no break, there's no check, there's no branch. It just goes straight available data without any procedure, without any filtering procedure. System DT. Now this one is going to get another data table. It's going to take the fragment DT. It's going to take a fragment DT, and the fragment DT is what was sought to be the way to get the text in. So to make it clear, let's say I have 1 and 2. Alright, there's 2 texts and there's an article called 5th Harris. I have created a new data table for a certain purpose, to allow procedural fulfillment of the upcoming rows of information, but I want to have it in one data table, but it's a bit too confusing. So we're going to get the system DT. So the system DT is where we set up the canvas. The fragment DT is where we set up the text for each of these artworks. So we're going to get the data table, add system 0, same here, get data, but this one we're going to check for the ID. We're going to run exactly the same script. The only difference is this fragment dt instead of the system dt. Data table is different. Fragment dt, as you can see, the struct is different too. If over here we're going to break it, we accessed it from different structs, so the struct for this fragment dt is obviously different. Struct for the fragment data table and struct for the system data table. I can alter it and make it like image, video, link, whatever I want, right? But this will be the main, like the point is that this is the main kind of key image that's going to be there, right? And the others are going to be either basically aid for that, so fragments of text describing it. But having it in this data table allows me to make it as many the fuck as I want. So like this one is hertz, 5th hertz, the ID is 5th hertz, right? I'm gonna you motherfuckers. I'm gonna first decrease I'm going to decrease the watch this. We're going to find that 5th hertz. The 5th hertz is this. Being so, we have detached the variables. So system 0 and data 0, and now data 0 is going to spawn some artwork fragment. Alright, so over here, delay and run the sequence. What it will spawn is up to you, but our piece is system and fragment. Here we are. Now I'm gonna set it the 3D text because that is OG, but just before I stop this, I'm gonna finish the presentation. Text default is X. We have our font. We can import our font. I can cover it next. The point is same. We get play, and we find the 5th hertz artwork. This is the one, and what it must have is a piece of text which it fails to acquire. Alright, so we have data 0, duration 1 second, play. Alright, at ether the wave of something. Alright, something like that. If, alright, if I'm gonna set the same code, but I want to make it smaller. I want to make this text 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. I can put it center, quad top, text center, world size 26, Y scale component tick. Let's see. If I find this text and I duplicate it, opaque, I then save on my work, I then open it and do the emissive for it to be visible. If we will be able to. Alright, the alternative for that, while this is thinking, the alternative for this to be done is to use 3D widgets. So is either text render or 3D widgets, 3D text render, 2D text render, and the widgets. The widgets can be overlaid on screen with words or 3D widget systems. Although this system looks kind of professionally uniform, means that what matters to me is what kind of data can be accessed from the same type of look. And that's what we must research. There's 5 types of data. There is sound, there is image, there is video, there is stream, there is whatever the fuck it is. Basically images, links, websites, videos, pictures. You can, as well as sounds with an image in it, you can access from a 3D browser, web browser, access from one of these widgets. One of these widgets can be inserted into the plane, either on 3D or 2D base. And it will look same. Now if I hit up the 3D text or this text, it will kind of be like standing out. My point would be to get it to be the same. So I'm gonna increase the emissive, set the emissive color, and apply, browse, get the fragment, change it to the opaque, viewport, text render, something like that, compile and hit play. Alright, the back of the ether, the wave of the walls. Fantastic. Now I'm going to just set it to 1. It's a bit too much. Opacity mask, two-sided. It needs to be two-sided in case. Default lit, keep it unlit. Save and close this. Fragment 0 for the text, fragment 1, system 0, system, data. Now data, where the fragment is spawned, okay, find it here, put it here, so system data fragment. Now where should it be spawned? It should be spawned around sphere radius, so it's going to be here. I'll quickly try to turn it around and see if it will do as a planet. No, it's not. So I'm gonna put it back over the initial place. Shit. And 2 ways. We can either set the rotation to automatically rotate, or let the player rotate it by himself. If I click, put it over here, move it down, Alright, I can alter it, right? I can alter it. I have to get this sphere over here, get back to the fragment, event graph. Over here it says the set actor rotation. Alright, now set actor location. I can get the minus 89, minus 89, minus 89, and see if it's going to change. Okay, it did. And minus 34. You got the point. Now, to make many of them, the bark of the ether and the wave of the balls, the 5th hertz. To make many of them, what we can do, all we need to do to define as many as fucking names as we want, we change the text, of course, to match our desired value. And here it is. So I pretty much got our presentation. Now we can enhance it with further images on each of those lines. Or we can use this 7 grade presentation system. Or the potential is limitless, but finally it was be able to do that. Now, the bark of the ether, alright, 5th hertz, the bark of the ether, I'm going to say over here, fluid art. Next is going to be 30 x 20 x 40 cm. Next I'm gonna put the save the walk, save the walk, system DT fragment. Alright, 2040 and available, duplicate a cost 997 USD and shit, excuse us, stuff like that, right? Now if I want the same one, I get a new row. I get 2, 1. I'm gonna call it the 5th hertz, dressed and soul. Alright, I'm gonna get dressed and soul. Dressed and soul is the ID filter that will connect the first data table and the second data table. This is the data, get data, and this is this little piece. Without it, it will not know where to assign it. And I can easily network forbidden fruit, right? So I'm gonna have network, I'm gonna have network, I'm gonna get 3.1 network, dressed and soul, network, and I can duplicate it and duplicate this, right, and so on. And if I hit play, this one is here. Fuck. Simulate. If I hit this one, we can see that only these variables here. Fragment S, fifth hertz, network, Dresden Sol, network, Dresden Sol. Alright. Dresden Sol, Dresden Sol. Alright, and next one is going to be duplicate and network, and duplicate. Text is just irrelevant, it's not about the sample. And let's see, each pawn text only around. The ones identified. We further get the data table, decrease the sphere radius, 55, control, set, something like that, and just have them rotate around each other. Pretty much it. That was the challenge I tried to find answer for a very long time, but you get me. That's enough for now. I'm gonna fill that and then see what's updated.